Hi everyone and welcome back to Be Rich podcast. I've been reading all your comments, so I will try and slow down my speech. I do have a tendency of talking pretty fast. It's just a habit of mine. And sometimes I do sound like I'm reading something and as I'm talking to you, I'm gathering my thoughts and I seem to get into a monotone and I do sound like I'm reading something to you guys. So I will try and slow this down and I will try and liven it up and sound like I'm not in a drone, that I am talking to you as if you're with me right now in the room. This is something which I'm getting used to. I'm not used to doing podcasts, so this is a new experience for me and I'm learning from it. Speaking of learning, I thought we will talk about something interesting about a book Charlie Munger was talking about. Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's longtime partner in Berkshire Hathaway, which I'm sure most of you know. So he has this thing called Lattice work of mental models. What is it? What is lattice work of mental models? Well, lattice work of mental models is nothing but having like a toolbox in your mind. Like all of us have a Susami knife. We know what a Susami knife is, or a toolbox. So a mental model is keeping different kinds of tools mentally in your mind, which you learn to understand. Not learn to understand, that you helps you understand and solve problems of different kinds. And these tools necessarily don't have to be to a certain field. So it's like learning how to read. Once you learn how to read, you can use that which you learn and apply it, read and learn other things. So as we grow in life, we go through school and we go through college, we learn these mental tool. We create our own toolbox. Each one has our own individual toolbox, which we keep adding tools into as we grow older. And we use it and we combine it and make new tools, combining two tools together, like Lego blocks, like pieces of Lego which we build. So Charlie is a big believer in this. The reason why he's a big believer in this is because he says you have to use this kind of mental models to understand what's happening in this world. So you can cross apply your tools and these principles and try to achieve a better understanding and make a better decision making as an investor. Because as we discover more and more about Warren Buffett, we talk about Ben Graham and we talk about value investing, more and more people hear about it. And nowadays with social media, more and more people get to know about it. So there is no secret sauce in it anymore. So what Charlie says is you have to learn to develop your own methodology to your madness. You cannot sit and just copy someone. Gone are the days when you can read a book which no one has, or find some secret place, secret information which nobody has. Nowadays with the internet and social media, it's all out there. The biggest secret is not a secret anymore. That's what the biggest joke about UFO is, that thinking the American government is hiding something like a UFO when they can't even hide simple things, simple information. Everything leaks from a government. No government in the world is good at hiding any information. If anything, the two successor governments has proven is they are very good at leaking information more than keeping things secret. Anyway, I digress. So let's come back to Charlie Munger and what he's talking about, the lattice work of mental models. So in that, one of the books he recommends is called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. So why does he recommend this book? Well, it's a book about human behavior and understanding human behavior. So in Cialdini's book, he offers insight and biases which we form and behavioral patterns people have. And by understanding this, one can make better predictions of what how people will act in various situations. So this is a very useful thing to read and understand. And this has applications not only in your personal life, because we all live in this planet and we interact with other people. So understanding people and having the capacity to predict them and how they'll react in various situations helps you to negotiate a situation much better. It also has applications if you're a businessman. So, such as this reciprocity, social proof, which are different things he talks about in this book. And he applies it in business contexts, in whether it's sales or marketing or negotiations, recognizing these kind of taxes and deploying them effectively. And you can also learn how to defend it. So let's say someone has read the book and they are trying to use this kind of persuasion method on you. you'll be aware of it. You'll be like, okay, I know when I'm being played. So that's another reason to read this book. Then there is also another important thing Charlie talks about is, he says, because Cialdini's book is so powerful, it talks about how human beings can be manipulated and used. He says it's important to keep ethics in mind, ethics in consideration, which Cialdini also talks about, ethical considerations. So it's a good book for that also. So if you're a kind of person who's a principled person and you believe in doing the right thing, this kind of a book is also very good. It helps you to understand how to evaluate something being ethical or not ethical. And another thing which Charlie focuses on, which he talks about, is avoiding mistakes. The big reason why Buffett and him have been so successful is they avoid mistakes. By understanding the principles in this book and recognizing situations which are there and not being unduly influenced by other factors other than what information and facts are there in front of you, you can avoid pitfalls. That means you don't get swayed by your emotions, you don't get swayed by people talking to you. Because Charlie and Buffett, Warren are always constantly approached by a lot of people, believe it or not, because they have a lot of money to invest to that their business are sick. And if you follow their history, Charlie and Warren's history from beginning infancy of Berkshire Hathaway and how they went about getting Berkshire Hathaway, the mistakes they made, you'll see how sometimes you get influenced and you get swayed by people you meet and how emotions can get the better of you. So he talks about this book because Cialdini gives you a toolbox on how to recognize yourself when you're being when your own emotions are influencing you. So this is one of the main reasons why Charlie Munger recommends this book. Of course, everyone recommends books on investing and talks about long term, but Charlie believes in this book being a very important book for the simple reason he believes if you don't understand how your mind works or how human beings work, you cannot do any business or you cannot do any investing, because it's impossible for you to even get a lay of the land, predict why people are reacting to certain things in the market. Why do they choose to sometimes follow the herd and go into the slaughterhouse? To understand why this happens, this book is very good. So let's talk what are the 6 main units in this book, or let's say the weapons of influence. First one is reciprocity. What is reciprocity? Reciprocity, let me just read out the definition, is people tend to feel obligated to return favors. For example, if someone does something for us, we naturally want to repay them in some way. This is used in marketing through taxis by giving out free samples. So we've all been influenced in this manner. Reciprocity. If someone does something nice to us, you feel obligated to do something nice to them back. And everybody does it. In restaurants it happens. In any mall you walk into, them giving out free samples to you, saying, no, you don't have to pay for this, it's free. You walk in, they immediately put samples in your hand. They tell you, please taste it, taste the chocolate, taste the dates. Please have a date. You see it in Dubai. When you walk in a date store, they'll be like, or an olive store, they'll be like, here, please have some olives, taste it. You can taste any of them. Take many as you want. But then what happens is, as you've eaten 4 or 5 olives or 4 or 5 dates, you feel obligated into buying 100 grams or just 200 grams because the guy's been so nice to you. You just can't help it. So this is a very powerful tool which is being used by a lot of people. It's called reciprocity. And it's something to keep in mind. Just because something is offered to you, you don't have to feel obligated. Same way, if you wish to influence someone, this is something which you can do too. You can offer them something, and in return, you feel obligated, and they will feel obligated to you, and they'll want to reciprocate. And then you have them on the hook, and you can ask them for what you want. Second one, which he talks about, is called commitment and consistency. What is that? He says, once people make a choice or tend to take a stand, they will encounter personal and interpersonal pressure to behave consistently with that commitment. This is why people often go to great lengths to honor an agreement, even if it's a verbal or they originally made it reluctantly. This is very true. If you understand what he's saying that people have an inner compass, societal pressure. In India, we call it middle class pressure. that once you give your word. It doesn't even have to be a friend. It can be a complete stranger. You offer to help them, walk them to some location. They're unable to find a place, and you say, okay, I'll take you there. You start going, taking them, and no matter what impediments you may face taking them there, you will feel obligated into following it through. No matter what happens, you go there. Let's say they wanted to go to a certain store. You say, okay, I'll take you there. You start going there. Then you reach with great difficulty reach the place. Then they find out the store is closed. Suddenly you feel very bad for them, and you feel obligated into helping them find another store or another product. It goes on like this. This is a human condition where we commit to something, and then we want to be consistent with our commitment. So then we'll go to great lengths to honor that. We all fall prey to this, and this is something to be aware of. Just because in a business negotiation you make a commitment, verbal commitment, or if things change, if your situation changes, or the market situation has changed, it is okay to relook at it, revisit it, and not feel pressurized into your own commitment and consistency bias which you have. So this is something to keep in mind. And also, like anything that can be used, you can also use this against someone. You can tell them, you made a commitment to me. You made a, you should honor what you said. You said you're going to do this to me. I believed in you. That kind of pressure is immense when you drop it on someone. And if they're not aware of what's happening to them, they can be manipulated very easily. So this is something to keep in mind. Any of these tools, which I'm talking about, reciprocity so far, commitment, consistency, can be used, or you can be aware of it. The choice is yours, like anything in life. I'm not encouraging you to use these tools in a bad manner or be unethical, but I want you to be aware of what are the possibilities of this tool, so you're free to choose. I'm no one to judge, so this information I want to lay it out there. Social proof. What is social proof? This is number 3. People look to what others are doing to determine what is correct. If many people are doing something or believe in something, others are more likely to follow it. This is testimonial to most popular items in online shopping. So you have seen this. Social proofing is following the crowd, is herd mentality. You see everyone doing something, you feel obligated into doing it, and if you don't want to be missing it out, so you will also do it. We have all done it. Seen a crowd going into a store. We all like to see what's happening there, what is the commotion, and if we're traveling in a group, everyone decides to go to some museum, we also feel obligated to going and doing it and seeing what it is, joining the crowd, it is called. And everyone does it. And this is a big problem in investing, because we see our friends buying a certain share, or a group of friends buying a certain share. Then we also feel like, okay, we don't want to be missing out. They must be knowing something we don't know. They must have done the research. We just can't fathom the fact that, there are a whole bunch of lemmings going off a cliff, but we can't fathom that, and we'll think, okay, we must also follow that, and lo and behold, we also join the lemmings and go off the cliff. So keep this in mind. Social proof. This is a very powerful bias which a lot of people fall into. Make sure you whatever decisions you do, be it buying something or investing in something, it is something that you have decided individually, you have thought about it, and you think it is a necessity. Most things you buy, especially online, is because you've been cued into doing it. These psychological tricks have been played on you, where you think it's needed by the fact saying most popular items, or it's low in stock, only one item is in stock. You somehow feel pressurized into doing it. That's what social proof is about. Number 4, authority. People tend to respect authority figures and are generally more obedient to those who are seen as authority. For example, titles, uniform, even accessories like cars and gadgets can give an impression of authority and can influence decisions. This is very famous, whom we can say is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has very famously done this, where he said having a good suit is what matters. And if that guy knows about this more than anybody else, he knows this, where he just stamps authority everywhere. He can be a complete delinquent. He can not know something. He knows nothing about coronavirus or how viruses are eradicated or how they are treated, but he'll just stamp his authority all over it by just saying that I'm the president and I've said it and that's it. So a lot of people follow that. You wonder why. It's because of this bias. It's called an authority bias. It's like everyone, when we see a policeman, if a policeman says something, we all say, yeah, he's a person of authority. Why do you think people at a signal, there might be a huge crowd waiting at the signal, and there's just one policeman holding that signal back? How is that? Why is that happening? How is that happening? It's because of this bias called authority bias. People tend to respect figures of authority. So be careful when you're handing out your respect to that authority. That is actually an authority you really do respect. It's not because of some accessories or some impression that you have that is your decisions being influenced by. That you actually know this person and you actually aligns with what you believe in and what you think. Especially when you're investing, make sure the person you are taking as your guru, as we say in India, is a person who you respect, is a person worthy of your respect and attention. So do your please do your due diligence before you jump into following any authority. Number 5, liking people. People are most easily influenced by the people they like. Factors that contribute to liking include physical attractiveness, similarity, compliments, and repeated contact. Liking. This is a very familiar bias. All of us know about this. If we think all actors manage this bias very well by either physical attractiveness, similarity, or compliments and repeated contact with our cinema personalities, be it in movies, be it in public, being it on social media, Instagram. The main reason there is constantly influencing you through liking, by making you like them. Be it, being in your social media and your feed all the time in front of you. They start influencing. And this is one of the easiest influences to do. And all of us are susceptible to this. So it's something you should always be aware. Just because someone looks like your father or someone who looks like your close friend or, talks like your teacher, or is from your same college, junior or senior, it doesn't mean anything. Please do keep in mind all that is irrelevant when you're making a decision, that your decision should be not biased on liking. Scarcity. Opportunities seem more valuable when they are less available. This is why limited time offers such as a few are common sales tactics. We already spoke about this in social proofing, but it's a separate bias and it happens. If we say there's one of the main reasons people go for IPOs is that they have a big fear of missing out, and they'll create multiple accounts they'll open and they'll do IPOs in different names they'll be applying and hoping the allotment happens because they fear they're going to miss out, and it's not true. The company they create this kind of a panic in the market thinking that you're going to miss out, and influencers and social media and everybody's into it these days, creating this eye perception of scarcity, and we as investors and the market participants fall for this, and it's something you should be aware of. Scarcity is a bias we all fall for, and one of the main reasons when you should avoid online shopping, especially like places like sites like Amazon. It's better to make a list, sit down and write what you would like to buy, log on, buy those few things, whatever you decide to buy, and then log off and remove the app. Please do not keep these apps on your phone, because this is how it influences you, where you get these constant limited time offers. Swiggy does it to you all the time. Now it's lunchtime. For the next 10 minutes, if you order now, we will not charge you a delivery fee, or we'll give you some discount coupon. And we all fall for this. Without thinking, we just order. So these are the 6 main weapons of influence, which Cialdini talks about, Robert Cialdini, in this book called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, which Charlie Munger has spoken about greatly. And I hope all of you do take time and read this book, because what I've done is just briefly walk through the book, very lightly touching on each thing. It's a book which he dives into great depth into each one of these, and how it works on us, and how it works on each of us individually, and how you can use it if you wish to use it, and the ethical dilemma all of us face once you know these things. The reason why I'm saying you should read the book is, throughout the book, Cialdini uses numerous examples and studies to illustrate each of these principles and its application. He emphasizes the importance of using these principles ethically, and stressing that manipulating can be harmful and counterproductive in the long run. So he explains to you why you should not misuse these tools. which I have not really touched upon, one of the main reasons I want you to read the book. And it's also worthy noting that while the book primarily focuses directly at understanding market sales and tactics, but these principles can be applied in all facets of your life, in all your relationships, not only in marketing, sales, and all that, but in investing and non-investing things, like just in family dynamics, even being with your children. How children naturally or intuitively are good at using these biases against us as parents. They learn these and from media and everywhere else, from their friends, and they try using it on us. So it's a wonderful way to understand the psychology behind all this. Anyway, I hope this podcast was better in my delivery. I really did try this time to slow it down, and I've recorded it with less bass, because that's another thing a lot of people have commenting on, that my audio quality was very bass heavy. So I've tried to increase the treble this time and slow down my speech. I know there have been moments when I've been thinking and talking, I have generally become a little faster in my delivery. I will try and improve on that. Other than that, I would love it if you guys keep commenting down below on what you would like me to improve, what you'd like me to talk more about. And it's okay, I'm not worried about view count. Some of you are like, yes, it'll be nice if this podcast got more view count. I'm not worried about view count. I'm not doing this for view count. I'm purely doing this as information given to you guys. And even if a few of you watch it, a few of you find it useful, I'm more than happy to share this information. Anyway, that being said, thank you for joining us on the podcast today on Be Rich. We will try and put all this up on different platforms such as Spotify and other podcast platforms. But as of now, we are on YouTube till we figure this all out again. Please do subscribe to it and turn on the bell notification as always. Hope you found this informative and entertaining. Thank you for being with me on Be Rich. Bye then.